Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for my client Robbie's vlogs. And we had a pretty good week here. Pretty good week. He deloaded, then we raised training maxes. Of course, he's had a cold, so we took a few days off, in some of this. But overall, even though we raised training maxes, as you guys can see, things went good. Things went good. His 85% week here, he got like 8 reps on the squat. Got 8 reps on the squat. Okay, and again, that's it. 85% of 170 kilos. So what is that? That's, I'm trying to do the math here while we work. 145 kg. We got 8 reps, right? So the squatting is coming along. And I think he did a lot of this week with the straight bar, yeah. Or we used the buffalo bar for this. Again, Robert has, again, a lot of shoulder inflammation, a lot of joint inflammation. This stuff I've covered in the past. This is really common with hard gainers. We turned him into a lifter, right? We've turned him into a lifter. He's at a 4-plate squat, right up on a 5-plate deadlift, so on and so forth. But he was skinny as a beanpole, In kilos, we put 20 plus kilos on him. In pounds, it's been over 45 pounds. That's how much weight we've gained. So much weight we've gained. So, he's not the hard gainer anymore. But we do deal with a lot of tendon and joint inflammation. As I've said, that's our biggest fight with him. We get the food in now. Things have been slowly coming up. We're getting in the food. We've learned to eat, but our biggest issue is really recovery and inflammation. So if you guys watch these vlogs, we don't do a whole lot of training volume. It's a moderate amount, and then we deload every 4th week. And people say, oh, well, that he should feel great. Not always. No, we still get slightly beat up from that for him. And again, it's tendons, it's joints. And his shoulders tend to take a beating. So, it's one of the reasons his bench has always been a fight. It's always been a fight. We stay in close grip because he can't handle wider. And one reason we do a lot of the specialty bars here. But he's hit his best maxes with the straight bar. So when he has to, he can throw a straight bar on and we're good. Right? He has no trouble taking a straight bar and hitting his max. So we're good. Benching, again, he does close grip. We stay super tight. He arches. Again, this protects his shoulders. But this is still, a bit of a long fight. But the bench is coming up. We are seeing improvements here finally. And it's because we're getting enough chest work. We are getting enough chest work. And if you guys look at his sheet, that means we do flat presses. We do benching, we do flat pressing. And then, of course, he does tricep work on his overhead press day. But even then, I stick with a lot of band work for him. Right? We stick with mostly bands. And it's because, again, elbow tendon issues. So he's a valuable case study for a lot of you guys who are really, really underweight. The stuff that you're going to have to think about and deal with for a few years. Because we're 2 years deep. Okay, we're 2 years deep. We've literally doubled his strength. Doubled his strength. We put 20 kilos of body weight on him, possibly more now, I believe. The overwhelming majority of it muscle mass. We've gotten here, but there's still some of that connective tissue stuff, and it may take years to catch up. Right? We may need to carry around this muscle, get used to these loads for years, and that's okay. Just be aware, for you hard gainers, it's going to be your next biggest fight. The easy gainers, which are guys who gain fat easy because of appetite. It's always appetite related, by the way. Always appetite and activity related. You guys have your own set of problems. And controlling the diet's the hardest part, right? Staying full. That's always the challenge for them. Of course, you guys see here, he does his pull-ups, right? We do pull-ups. His primary stuff. I've had a few people say, how come some of your guys like that, they don't do a lot of rows, they do pull-ups? Well, if they overhead press and they deadlift for volume, we do pull-ups. We don't always need rows, although a lot of them could benefit from rows too. We could benefit from it. It's a question of training economy and how much gym time and recovery they have. But some of them I would like to see some rows also. And more of my guys will incorporate more of those again, maybe in the vlogs. But, people have said, how come all your people do pull-ups in the row? Well, there's plenty of people, even in the vlogs, who do rows. We've got rowers in the vlogs. And some of my really advanced guys, we do both. We work with both. I'm just very, very favorable towards the pull-ups. All right, overhead pressing, again, went good. And notice, again, we say super tight on his technique. All right, his technique is super, super tight. We may get to a point to where we just focus on the bench, to where you'll let's just do lots of benching if we want to get his bench up. But for him, overhead press allows us to have a press year-round, because we've had phases where he couldn't even bench because of his shoulders. But he can always overhead press pain-free. It's never a problem. Never been an issue. Now, deadlift session, when we get there, he did mention, Coach, this is hard. My low back was getting crampy. It's getting fatigued. I'm like, well, because your strength is going up. And as your deadlift gets better and better, work capacity issues can become a problem. And in his case, it may be time for us to start backing down the volume just a hair on the supplemental deadlifting. We may have to go to 3 sets instead of 5. Right? But we got a good deadlift this week. Right? We got a good deadlift because we raised training max, to 220, which is 5 plates for those in kilos. However, that's not his true all-out max. That is a training max. Okay? I'm sure he could hit more than that right now. Again, especially based upon the performance we saw here, right? 7 reps with what should be around a 5, close to a 5 rep max, or at least real challenging at 5 reps. We got 7. Okay. So he can definitely squeeze out a little more than the 220. But again, we're running into work capacity issues. There's some fatigue here. And the deadlift tends to be his best lift. So it might be time to back that volume down. But that's the other thing, that has come up of like his upper back. And some people said, well, is this enough for upper back? Well, look at his overall structure size and then look at his upper back and traps. And you guys have seen him shirtless doing pull-ups and stuff. They're not monstrously big, but they're proportionately big. Right? Relative to the rest of his structure, they're definitely well developed. Not really an issue, is it? All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.